Hi, this is Father Bill, friend of Dr. Bob's here in Austin, and welcome back. We're finishing up our little study on the 12 steps and their connection to the Oxford group. And today we're at step 12. And I think to appreciate this step, got to kind of go back to the very beginning, that the whole purpose of the 12 steps. I start out as a hopeless and helpless addict, but there is a solution. And that solution is finding God in my life, having an experience of God deep enough, profound enough to change me so that I won't have to stay stuck in the cycle of addiction that all of us find ourselves in when we begin this process. So oftentimes the 12 step, we look at, going out and helping other people like ourselves, and that's good and it's important, but there's maybe a tendency to skip over the part that says, having had a spiritual experience. So what does that mean? I think, Wilson said steps 1 and 12, he got a lot of that material from his study of the varieties of religious experiences by William James. And James talks about what is it that happens in an individual when he or she has this spiritual experience. Let me read what James has to say here. He says it's 4 things that happen. 1, the feeling of being part of a wider life. The conviction of the existence of an ideal power. Loneliness, isolation. You look at an addict, and that's what you're looking at. We are cut off. We are imprisoned. And then something happens. And it can be slow or it can be dramatic, but it's a change at the deepest level of self that begins to open us up to a new reality. Number 2, the person's feeling of the friendly continuity of this power with his own life, the self having willingly surrendered its control. Some of us go kicking and screaming through the steps, but by the time we get to 12, we can begin to see that God not only exists, but that he is very much for us, in the sense that he wants us to be ourselves, to become the full self that he intended for each and every human being. Number 3, the experience of elation and freedom which the changed life has when the confining self ceases to dominate the personality. Free me from the bondage of self. It doesn't just mean I'm selfish and I want my own way. It means I am locked into a self, a small self, that keeps me from an experience of God. And that false and small self has got to be broken through into a 4th dimension of existence, as the big book calls it. And number 4, the shift of the emotional center towards love and compassion. Love and service are our code. That's what we believe, and that's what we experience through a real journey through the 12 steps. That if we take them at depth, and I believe if we take them with a more solid understanding of what the Oxford group meaning of those principles and practices were, maybe the most important one of which is two-way prayer. So I hope this little series has been helpful for you. I hope you've experienced this radical change in your life, and I hope you'll keep coming back. God bless. Take good care.